Welcome back to another house update. On the last episode, we had gotten done putting the floors into the house, and then we had to seal them. Sealing them required cleaning them really well, like 5 different times. We put a clear coat of water-based polyurethane on the floor, but since the polyurethane would seal anything and everything to the floor, we had to make sure the floor was super clean before we put the sealer on. It took much longer to clean the floor with all the different steps of tack cloth and Swiffers, etc., than it actually did to put the polyurethane down. Dad had a much more careful technique than I did. But his technique worked better. I will tell you that, because I missed a spot. It was more difficult than I thought it would be to sort of like track where you were going. So Dad realized I missed a spot and figured out that we were using a paint roller and that it would reach all the way over to the spot. So it was fantastic. He saved the day again. The polyurethane needed to cure for 7 days before we brought anything really heavy into the house. So I turned my attention to patching some holes in the walls. Dad was busy with other projects, so I just sort of ran the theory of what I was going to do by him, and he helped me make a plan, and I just went to it. I know it sounds strange, but I forgot how good I am at mudding walls. It's just like the mortar thing. It's adult Play-Doh, and I thought it was just super fun. This was a pretty significant hole in the wall, but if you just do a couple layers and sand it, it all comes together just fine. You really can't screw it up. There is a beautiful support beam that runs through the bathroom ceiling, and I wanted to clean it up a little bit, and eventually it will get sealed and made nicer. But the first step was getting the leftover rails of plaster from the fake walls and things that had been put up off so that the beam could be exposed. There was some really amazing weather, so I took all of the kitchen cabinets that had come off of the bottom of the kitchen and took them outside and hosed them and bleached them and hosed them and bleached them, because they had had a lot of mice nests in them. And this did the trick, whereas previously I had steamed them and done all sorts of things to try to get them clean. The repeated hosings and bleachings really did the trick. Dad got to indulge in one of his favorite pastimes, heavy machinery, to install a line that runs across the driveway and hooks up to some propane tanks. The furnace was originally oil, and I didn't want an oil furnace. They're expensive to replace, they're expensive to run, so we opted for a propane furnace because natural gas is not an option where I am. The beautifully renewed kitchen cupboards came back in the house, and I buffed those bad boys with spoon butter. Spoon butter is made by my favorite herbal goddess, Stevie. Meanwhile, another project was unfolding in the front yard of the house. Dad, Trevor, and Uncle Ed all contributed to digging a well pit. No, a water pit. A water meter pit? I don't know. Some kind of pit that some kind of expensive tank went into that brought the possibility of city water from the curb to the house. Now, we don't actually plan on turning this on because we have good well water, but it's just nice to have that done. While the guys were digging back here to bring the water line up, Uncle Ed took the enormous tree stump out that was left over from the trees Adelino took down that were next to the house. It was really cool to watch him do this. This series of stumps is really humongous, and the hillside got sloped, so we'll be able to take a mower on it, and it looks like a whole new front yard, really. Thanks for hanging in there till the end. This was a long video, and there were lots of things to cover. I hope you have a magical week.